What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Keith back with another market analysis video, futures and stocks. Today is Thursday, December 4th, 2025. We are going to analyze the market for Friday, December 5th, 2025. Okay. For that, yeah, that's all we got. And of course, it's Friday. The market is going to close, so we're gonna get some volatility just because of that. All right. Look like we experiencing some connection issues. It is some weather outside. Let me see. If this connection is too choppy, we just cut the stream and we either do the analysis in the morning or we will just not do one. Cause I look like we got some connection issues due to the internet. Alright. I think we good. First thing first, let's go over to SPY. Now, today on SPY, looking at that daily, we kinda didn't do exactly what we wanted today. We really wanted to see SPY probably do a slight pullback, then shoot up pretty hard. It had a drastic pullback and slowly pushed back up. So that kind of slowed down the momentum for our loans. But with PCE coming out tomorrow, we might can get that momentum. Or we might just be getting ready to consolidate or reverse. So gotta be on the lookout for that. I told y'all if we pull down more than like half this count, I really wasn't looking to trade SPY. And that's what we did. We pulled down more than half the counter. I didn't get in those SPY contracts. Yes, I did get in futures, but I didn't get in any SPY. We dropped down to that hourly. As you can see, we pretty much was just moving sideways the whole day. Whole day we just moved sideways. Maybe tomorrow we might get that break with PCE coming out. Break to the upside to make a higher high, and it'll make this a higher low here. But if we do break above, we must see a close above. We can't take any longs until we close above at 685.72. Can't take any longs unless we close above there. And once we close above there, we want to wait on a pullback, and then that first green candle that stays above that high, take the long. Okay. Other than that, that's all we looking for tomorrow. If you want to look for shorts, because yes, we did make a red candle. It could be, indicating that we want to reverse. If you want to look for shorts, all you doing is just waiting on market structure shift to the downside for the shorts. Right now, we got a low, high, low, higher, high. So you, of course, want to see it reverse to a lower, low, lower, high situation. But me personally, I really don't really want the shorts. Unless we somehow, like, say if we get right here to this 684.96, if we get up in here and we see some resistance here, and then we get market structure shift to the downside underneath it, then I might look for a short. So if we resist right around here, then we get that lower low, then I'll possibly look for them shorts to continue to drop. But I don't really know how I feel about the shorts right now. I really kind of want to stay with the longs, but yes, we do got that daily red counter, so you still gotta respect that. In the event that we may gap up, let me see. Can I see us gapping up? Hello, boom. If we gap up, I think we're gonna open up at like 86, 87, 686, 687. If we gap up, I don't know if we're gonna gap up, but if we gap up, I think we'll gap up that high. If we gap up there, Really shouldn't see a big pullback. It should just shoot straight up to the highs. Um, but I don't know though. That's an event that we gap up. We always want to know all scenarios. QQQ, but like we said, we pretty much gonna be looking for. Let me put the drawing tool on there for some of y'all so y'all can see what we look for on the hourly. Looking for these longs above here. Stop loss. If we break, retest, then flip green. Honestly, stop loss will be right underneath that red candle, whatever the lowest point of that red candle. So it should be above this gap. I mean above this line. But that'll be a taking an early entry. If you want to really make sure, you know, that it's gonna go your way, you'll let that break. Hold up, give me a second. You'll let it break, retest. Then when that green come, let it close above this high. Let it close above that high for the continuation. Then get in. Stop loss will be at the bottom of that red. If you really want to, you know, all the way confirmed. And of course, the targets, you will have to look. Of course, this all-time high will be the first target, but if we're looking at the hourly, I mean, the all-time high is the ultimate target, but we're looking at the hourly, actually got a lot of targets. Yeah, one here. It's a target high. Got one here. We got a couple hourly targets. One there. Alright. So we need that momentum to push through these targets. And that's crazy. These two targets that we had that need some momentum. These are two spots that I said in an event that we gap up. I said it'll be around 686, 687. That's literally these two gaps. So that's if we somehow gap up. Looking at QQQ. Going to that daily. We got our first red daily counter for QQQ. I told y'all we haven't had a higher low for a QQQ yet. So we got our first indicator of a low. Now, the biggest thing we're trying to figure out, is this going to come to the bottom of the gap and fill the gap? Y'all know usually I always expect what? If we close in a gap, we expect it to go to the other side of the gap. That's what I'm expecting, but at the same time, we could have, like we said, a gap up. We could gap up. We gap up, and we don't have to come to the other side of the gap. Other than that, being inside this gap, it dang near make me want to say go to the other side of the gap, but we do got this a strong rejection. Maybe it's some hidden daily gap somewhere in here that hasn't been filled out just yet. Maybe that's what it is, but we do see a strong rejection. All right. Looking on that hourly, I kind of like SPY better than QQQs, but looking at this hourly, we got higher high, higher low, higher high. All right. Potentially it could be the new higher low, but we gotta come up here and get this 625. Yeah, we did close above this high. So that's good. That's showing us, hey, we moving up. So we might be trying to build base above here. Might be trying to build base above there at this 347. So we did slightly close above. So that's what's making me think we might gap up. Might gap up. It depends. If ES and NQ already do all it needs to do, then we might not gap up. But If they don't reach their target levels overnight, we probably gap up in the morning. Okay. All right. But like we said, if you look for them longs, of course you wanted to break, build some structure, then aim for the highs, of course. Might aim for this high first because we never got to close above it. So 624.44 first. And then let me check over here. We took this high. But we haven't closed above it though, that's the thing. But we did definitely take it, so I'm gonna remove it. Yeah. And then of course this high here, at 625.42, no 72.42. Like I said, QQQ it's okay. I'm not really looking to take the shorts, but it look like it can go to the downside. Yes. Yes. Close green candle. Close outside the gap. Daily gap. It didn't do exactly what we want. Like we said, we wanted a slight pullback and then push up real hard. By it going all the way to the bottom of the gap, it kind of killed some momentum, honestly. It killed some of that momentum to shoot straight up. But like we said, with PCE, you never know what might happen. We closed above, pulled back slightly, pushed up. We really had to, yeah, we had to just push crazy overnight for me to really be strong in them longs, honestly. Like we literally had to come up here to 68.95. But looking at the structure, we got higher high, higher low, higher high. All right, so we did make a higher high. Really want to see if this candle come retest this high, we got to see if it close above. But it's the weekend, so y'all know we not swinging ES or NQ. So pretty much the only thing I'll be looking for, since it already started pushing up, I was gonna say look for higher high, higher lows, get in off those. But it already started pushing up, almost already at the target. Once it take the target, you just only looking for a structure to build above that high. And as you get uptrend structure, you get uptrend structure above, of course, follow the uptrend all the way up to that 6,900 level. Now, if we break above, we fail, like we get green candles above, and then the first red end up closing right back below, you can either go ahead and take that ride back down to this consolidation, or you can wait till a retest and then wait on that next lower low to jump in. All right. So that's literally the only things we're looking for tomorrow. It's literally where once it touches this, whatever side the structure build, that's where we will be looking to take trades. All right. But it's like we said, it's still not the greatest looking charts. Looking at the daily, and we're more leaning to the bulls just because it closed green for ES. Now looking at the daily on NQ, we end up closing red. We got our red candle for NQ. We did close back inside this daily gap. So we failed to close below. Then of course this kind of went to the other side. So it pretty much did its job already. Came back to the other side. So it failed to close below, pushed back in, and went back to the other side of the gap. So it pretty much did its own job. Now of course we want to see if this kind of gonna close green. If we do take this high, can we take the high, like close above it? Even if it don't close above, if it take the high, can it stay green at least to make a higher high? That's the thing. But like we said, we can't swing the future, so we're not really. Of course, we gonna care because it's gonna tell us what to do next week. But we're not looking for that full daily candle movement. Looking on the actually, let's stay at the daily real quick. Daily target still up here at this 830 level. Like we said, we got two key levels here, so we really need a hard push. Honestly, I don't feel super strong on the long till we hit around that 25,800 level, 25,800 level. I mean, you can take longs, but I don't really feel too strong until we get up there. All right, going to that hourly, we got higher high, higher low, higher high, low, high, lower low. So we just made lower low, then we made a high, low, higher high. Really want to see if we take this high, it'll solidify this low down here. But we really got to close past it to keep going higher, of course. So pretty much same thing like with ES and NQ. Once we get up here, I want to see what the market does. Is it gonna build base above? Is it gonna build below? That's the thing. Now, knowing this though, we took this high here. We took these highs here because, like we said, we never had a close above this high. We took this high here, but we didn't close above still. You see that? So if we see red candle come, red alley candle, and we start forming structure underneath here, we could see them shorts drop without even going up to that high. Okay? So we really need an hourly candle to close above here first. It's 25. What is it? 25, 692.50. We need an hourly candle close above there first. And then once we close above there, of course, either build structure to move to the next level or just, all green candles to the next level. Okay? But if we fail to close above, like we said, and close red, we see market structure shift. Because one red candle could just lead us to this area here. But market structure shift, like we get that low, high, then lower low, and it close past, we can see an actual dump down to these lows. All right. Now let's go check out CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike was a headache today. Of course, we was up 80% on CrowdStrike. And I ain't gonna lie, it caught me. I got caught in CrowdStrike. I kind of was in the moment, missed it because I was trying to look at Dollar General and CrowdStrike. Got caught up in it, had to close. At least half the position I had to close. Just so you won't lose too much on it. But we was up pretty nice on CrowdStrike early on, but ended up coming back down. Like we said, we got in CrowdStrike like right here. Shot up, we was up pretty good, but then when it came down, it never went back up. It never went back up, man. Looking at that daily, CrowdStrike daily, close inside this huge gap, huge gap. But we do have a daily gap sitting here. Oop, actually, no, it ain't connecting. Well, it just closed in that huge gap. Y'all know my rule usually. If it close in the gap, more likely it's gonna go to the other side. We do got this gap here though, at 507 and 506. So this could stop it from going completely to the bottom. Could potentially see it drop down to there and then bounce back up. That's in the event that it don't, like we said, gap up like how gap up like SPY and QQQ and them. If somehow CrowdStrike is gapped up to that 517, 518 area right here, if it gaps up straight into this area, we could see CrowdStrike retest, like come down. So say if it gap up, let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here, I think this that major. Yeah, it's like that major resistance. All right. So say if it in the morning we gap up above 517. Excuse me. Gap up above it. Might see a retest. If that retest can hold and we form an uptrend. So like we say green, red, and then we make another green and it close past it. So make a higher high. We can see that we can see CrowdStrike squeezing at least up to 22, possibly up to 25. Um, definitely can see that squeeze. Now, if we open up below it, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of if we open up below that 516, I'm kind of expecting us to come on drop down at least down to like 509, 508, 507 area. Um, so it really depends on if we open on the bottom or open up at the top. For me, um, you could see it open up down here and PCE just make it squeeze extremely hard and it might go hit straight to 530. So it all depends. All depends on how we open up tomorrow and what the market is looking like. All right, jumping over to Meta. Meta pretty much ain't do nothing today at all. We ain't really do nothing. It opened up, came down, didn't move no more. Looking at Meta, of course we got this huge gap here. Huge gap. I usually don't mark these big old gaps up like that, but I just had to because it closed inside it and we don't really got another data gap close by. These was target levels, but it definitely, actually, you know what? We can keep them target levels. It had opened up above all these target levels. So what I'm looking for, I'm glad that I ain't gonna say I'm glad that it closed red, but what I'm looking for is a retest of these target levels. So either come down, try to see if it can respect this, market structure shift to go higher, or same thing here, come down, see if it can respect this, market structure shift to go higher, or come down, or come down here, retest this level, see if it can bounce. So that's 659, 653, and 648 are the main levels I want to see how it reacts when it gets there, you know. If we get down here, break below, market structure shift start forming downtrend, we can expect us to keep dropping down to that 653 level. All right. That's what I'm pretty much expecting. That's what I'm expecting, man. Expecting us to see how we react at these levels. But like we said, it did not really move today. What I wanted to say. Yeah, it really ain't moved today, so we don't really know what it wants to do exactly. But I do expect us to, tap these, at least one of these levels, key levels, unless we gap up. Same thing with how we've been saying for everything else. If we gap up and Meta is like at, I want to say around 6, not really these highs, not 669. I think, yeah, if it gap up around 670, possibly retest to this hourly gap, and then shoot up straight to 675. So pretty much what I see. Pretty much what I see. Just gonna have to be real patient, see what the market trying to give us. Cause like we said, it's Friday. Y'all know I usually don't trade nothing crazy on Friday. Now looking at DG. Jumping over to DG. Now this was our banger trade today, man. We caught nice move on DG. The earnings came out beautiful. I think we got in right around that 117 area. We rode it all the way up to 123. I was trying to hold it to 125, but they ended up getting me out, you know. This is what happened. I got in. Let me see, 5 minutes, probably a better example. Got in. Like I said, we got in around like around 117, right around here. Took that long, rolled it up, rolled up. And it got up here. I was trying to see if we can build some structure up here. Cause it was like I think an hourly high or something was out here. I changed my charts a little bit, y'all. But it was something right here. I was trying to see if we can build structure above. We failed. When we got that first red, we ended up kept dropping. And honestly, it just kind of, and it didn't put me in the negative, but it took a good chunk of my contract position. Cause I was like up, I was up like 110 or something percent when it came down, or like literally when it came down here. But it was the spreads were so wide on them dollar general contracts, so that's probably why. When it came down here, I barely was up like 20%. So I literally had to wait and hold. When it came back up here this time, I already had a target. I had a target set, like to sell, because it took so long to get back up there. Um, Literally, this is what almost 3-4 hours. I had a target high set, but then right when I was thinking to remove the target high to see if it's gonna run and build above, it sold. So I was like, dang, and it shot straight past, went up to 24. Cause I was trying to aim for 25 today, but like we said, we got out right around 23:30. Um, it pushed up. Man, I seen them contracts jump even more. I was like, yeah, dang. But then it came back down and then pushed right back up straight to the 25 at the end of the day. Literally at the very end of the day. So, for DG though, looking at that daily, cause we still probably can play this off these earnings. Looking at that daily, it of course closed past this first daily target at 117, which was that high. Now it did not. Let's see. Oh no, that's our current high. Let me see. Go over here and look at these target highs. I need to actually remove this because it's supposed to be here. And then here. Alright. So the next target high that was supposed to reach is 125.42. It got up to, let's see. Oh, no, it tapped it. It failed to close above. Now, just because it failed to close above don't necessarily mean we're going to just straight reverse. Like I said, it can give us a slight pullback and then come try to retest again. When it's slight pullback, when we see a slight pullback, right? Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that slight pullback be real small and then come to retesting highs, because whatever that pullback, when it does that pullback, I start doing this, y'all. When it does that pullback, right? Say if it do a slight pullback and then it push back up and push back up and make a higher high, even if it don't close past, if it just come back up and make a higher high, whatever that low was, I start using that as like a soft stop loss. Because now it's pretty much this is what I be seeing in the market. It came down, so it rejected. It did what it's supposed to do. It failed to close the bus, so it's supposed to pursue some type of pullback. If it pulled back and came to a point, right, and it reversed and came back up and made a new higher high, like pushed past the previous high, it let me know, okay, it came down far enough. So that's more than likely going to be some type of support level. So then I just pretty much use that as a stop loss. So I would like for it to be a real small pullback, then go higher. If it dropped pretty hard, yes, you can still use it for that main style, but you'll have to see some structure on lower time frame to, take it up. All right. But we want to see, can we close above 125.42? If we can, definitely go up to that 126 level. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and call it because honestly, most of the other stuff I ain't gonna mess with, especially since it's Friday. I'm gonna keep it to these couple ones that I've been trading this week. And yeah, y'all have a good one. Y'all trade safe. And